Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This time I'll be talking about something a bit different. It's not directly related to wealth creation, but it's something that will definitely help. So today we'll be talking about how to grow an Instagram page in 2023. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Instagram pages and how they're grown, but in the last few years it's been slightly different to how it is right now. In the past, it was mainly about things like comments, likes, shares, stuff like that. They were the things that would tend to make your Instagram grow quickly. It would get you onto the explore page, which was a key part of growing an Instagram page. So these days it's changed slightly. In this video, I'll be outlining exactly how it's changed, how you can use the algorithm to your advantage, how you can get on the explore page, which is the key to growing most pages these days. And then in later videos, I'll be talking about how to then monetize Instagram pages. So a bit about myself and my journey on the platform. I started growing a page in like 2020. So I've got quite a bit of experience in growing Instagram pages. Before that, I'd only had my personal pages and stuff. But I've actually grown multiple pages myself, and I've coached a few different people on how to grow their pages too. I've never shared the things I've learned with anybody outside of friends and people I've met online before. So now I think it's a great time to share some of that knowledge with everybody. So yeah, this video will be going into step by step guide basically on how to grow your Instagram page in 2023. I'm breaking down how to get on the explore page, how to use shares, likes, comments, and saves to your advantage, how to utilize your stories, how to use reels and carousels, how to get them to be more popular, things like that, all things that will help you grow your Instagram page in 2023. So if you're a business or someone with a hobby, Instagram pages are a great way to meet like-minded people and potential clients. I've met so many cool people through my Instagram pages in various different niches I'm involved in. So for nothing else, it's very fun and you'll meet loads of great people. But if you're a business looking for potential clients, it's even more important I think these days to have an Instagram page. So this video I'll be showing you how to do that. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Welcome to the video. This video will be about how to grow an Instagram page in 2023. This video will be about Instagram specifically, but I'll be making videos in the future about other social media platforms and how to grow them. I think it's important for any business or anyone aspiring to make some money online to have a solid social media presence. So this video will be going through how I've managed to build my Instagram pages. I've had some been quite successful over the years, so I'll be teaching you what I've learned. I'll be comparing the old way, as the algorithm has changed recently, to the new way that I've discovered recently in 2023. So without any further ado, let's go. So in I think about 2018 to 2022, the method was quite simple. It has changed during that period too, but I started my Instagram page in 2018, and I can say it was pretty much about the same till 2021. So I think that period, the algorithm was quite similar, even though it would have changed slightly. So in those days, which is still the same now, the explore page was very important. I think slightly more important than it is now. But the explore page, and when you go on your searches and you see all recommended content that Instagram has shown you, that was the most important then. So what got you onto the explore page was likes and comments mainly. They were pretty much the direct way. The more likes and comments you got, the more chance you would get on the explore page. I think likes were worth a few points and comments were worth a few more. So you'd kind of do what you can to get likes and comments on your posts. So I think the main way of doing that back in the day for new pages especially was engagement groups. So I guess if you were a page that already had some following, you wouldn't necessarily need to use engagement groups, and not everyone did. But back then they were really popular, and I think most people decided to use them. So what engagement groups were and still are, if you don't know, are basically Telegram groups where there's anywhere between about 10 to 100 people, and they all basically put their content in, and everyone likes each other's content or comments or whatever the specific engagement group is. A lot of them are like or comment specifically, and then that would boost your score basically and make it more likely to get on the explore page. So engagement groups did work. They were very tedious because you had to spend a lot of time liking and following and commenting on content you didn't really necessarily like. But it was even though it wasn't completely legit kind of engagement, it was real accounts liking and commenting, which made it quite valuable. for the algorithm. But I found after a few years, I think from 2018 to about 2020, it worked wonders. Like I'd do about 50 likes through an engagement group. My post would get anywhere between 100 to 1,000 likes pretty much every day after doing that. So it definitely worked for a time, but in about 2021, I think Instagram kind of patched it where they made accounts that used engagement groups a lot not be valued by the algorithm at all, really. So it's like the more used engagement groups, you might get more engagement, likes, and comments and stuff, but the algorithm would actually work against you in the end. So we had to kind of find new ways to get on the explore page, which I'll be talking about in the next part about how we do it these days. So the old way was basically get on the explore page, use engagement groups. Another thing that helped grow an Instagram page was the use of stories. So how Instagram works is when someone interacts with your page in any way, pretty much, whether it's a like, comment, a DM, or even clicking a poll or slide on a story, that that account would then be more likely to see your posts because, like, some accounts follow, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of people. So Instagram has to prioritize what accounts they think that person wants to see. So when someone clicks on your story and then interacts with a poll or anything on the story, they are more likely to see your posts in the future, whether it's your stories or just your posts in general. So if they're more likely to see your posts, they're more likely to interact with your posts. So the old way was using stories as well to get your community that you kind of built to engage with your content more. So another way that I used to use, I didn't use this as much, but I've heard it used to work, is just DMing your followers or people in your niche, but mainly your followers that you have already or people that you're following. Genuine conversations, not like these bot emails that you always get. Everyone, knows what I'm talking about. Everyone kind of gets these bots in their DMs all the time. But actual genuine DMs, people love actually having genuine conversations on Instagram. And when someone has a genuine conversation with you, they're more likely to see, for one, and also interact with your content in future, meaning your content will be more likely to have more engagement, which is the key. So yeah, another way, the main way that I used to, I think in the old, a few years ago, to grow an Instagram page from scratch. Some of these methods are still relevant today. I'm just going through the old ones first, and in the next part of the video, I'll be telling you which ones still work. So how I'd grow an Instagram page from scratch is basically make the page, get a few posts on with good content, and then you just genuinely follow and comment on like-minded pages. So you'd find pages through hashtags or the explore page that are in your niche or just recommended pages, and you just like the posts, give them a follow, and comment something genuine and what's relevant to their post. They will usually follow you back, give you some feedback on your posts, and then you have a genuine follower. This is quite tedious and does take a lot of time, and you have to genuinely enjoy it. You have to genuinely want to connect with people for this to really work, and it does help a lot, especially growing new pages. So back in the day, hashtags were more important too. These days, they say that the algorithm doesn't value hashtags as much. Like before, a few years ago, they'd say you'd have to have, I think, the maximum hashtags, which I think is 20 or 30. Nowadays, they say you can have a lot less. So back then, hashtags were important, and changing them per post were important too. So that pretty much summarizes the old way of growing an Instagram page a few years ago. The only thing I can expand on really is just the content. The content was a bit different back then. There was no reels, basically. Reels are quite recent in the last couple of years. So back then you kind of had to use your standard posts and your carousels, which is when it's like slides, like 5, 6, whatever posts, sometimes 2, 3, anything like that. So it was basically stories, carousels, and normal posts. And I think back then the best way was just mixing between them, doing stories every day, doing posts every day or every other day. Sometimes I was posting twice a day. But the quality of the content used to be important, but videos wasn't necessarily that important back then, whereas now reels are very important. So yeah, we'll move on to the next part, which is how to grow an Instagram page now. So we're talking about which things still work and which things need a bit of improvement. So the explore page today is still very important, but the method to get on there is slightly different. So before, likes and comments were the most important part of to get on the algorithm, but now saves are actually more important. Like, when you save a post after you've seen it. So saves now reward more points to the algorithm than likes or comments, which is something not a lot of people know, which is something that you can utilize to get on the explore page and grow your page a lot quicker. So the next thing, sorry, don't get me wrong, likes and comments are still very important, but they're not the number one thing now. I think Instagram is trying to go away from likes now because like they removed the like option in a lot of posts, and they basically patched engagement groups. So I think there are still engagement groups going for saves as well. I've not used them in the last about 2 years now, and I've managed to grow my page steady about them. So maybe if you look into engagement groups if you're a brand new page and go and see if they still work. They're free, most of them anyway, so they're worth a try, I guess, but they are very time consuming. So make sure you have a lot of time to invest in them. But for people that don't want to use engagement groups, carry on listening, and we'll give you some more tips to grow your page. So reels have changed a lot of things. The way reels work that are different to normal posts in a big way that I've found is that, like, if you post a normal post, so like a picture or a carousel, then your followers are likely to see it as soon as they log into Instagram. So they'll go on Instagram. Their first scroll through their Instagram will usually show them normal posts. So if they see your post but they don't engage with it, or they see your post and they do engage with it, then it's kind of gone. They'll never see it again afterwards, pretty much. So reels work a bit differently. So reels get recycled a lot more. So the best performing posts on Instagram, normal posts I'm talking about, will stay on the Explorer page for months, weeks after they were posted. But it's quite unlikely, and most people's posts won't ever get that far. So like most people, you'll post, and then in the first day, you'll get pretty much all the engagement. And then if it's a really good post, then it might carry on circulating. But most of the time, it will stop there. So you only really get engagement and followers through a post for the first day that you posted it. But reels work a bit differently. Reels kind of keep getting cycled around the algorithm. Even if you don't see much engagement on the reel, it will still kind of keep circulating. Like, I've done some posts that in the first week have only had, like, I don't know, 500 views and like 10 likes, but then 2, 3, 4 months later, that same post has gone up to like 3,000 views and like 100, 200 likes, and then I've got like 10 followers from that one reel that I posted months ago. So it's like it's really important to make reels, make good quality reels, that because they'll keep circulating. You might think, oh, I've done this reel and no one's seen it, but if you just give it time, these reels keep accumulating engagement, keep making your page be valued by the algorithm just by the fact that they keep getting cycled around. So if you don't have to use reels, I would recommend trying to experiment with them to see if it helps your engagement, which then will boost your page. Because the main way to grow a page is to keep getting more engagement, whether it's likes, follows, saves, people DMing you, people reacting to your stories, people seeing your posts or your reels. The more people that see and interact with your page, the more valuable Instagram's algorithm sees your page. So use reels just to get your content out there as well. Make sure they're high quality. Obviously, it's quite hard to make reels compared to normal posts. So maybe take a bit of time to learn, or get someone to make your reels for you, or just make some simple ones. Like sometimes a lot of people do this. I do it too sometimes. It's like, instead of posting your normal post, your normal picture that you've made, you just turn it into a reel and just post that. Maybe put a little bit of animation in there, put some music in the background, and just see how the post performs versus how your normal post perform, and keep experimenting with it, definitely. So hashtags, we'll talk about them now. They are not as important as they used to be. They used to be a lot more important, but a tactic I found is I still use the maximum amount of hashtags that Instagram allows you. Some people say to not do that, but I still do that. But what I do is I change 1 or 2 hashtags every time I post. So I'll have my normal hashtags, and then I'll change them after every post, 2 of the hashtags, just to see if changing them makes any difference. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but I would just recommend changing hashtags a lot. And then this is a kind of a tactic I have. So this works better on new pages. If you've already got some momentum behind your page, this won't matter as much. But for brand new pages, this is quite important. So what I do is, Instagram on your phone allows you to have, I think, 6 accounts on your phone. So I'd make 6 accounts. You won't have to post on any of them, but then whichever account or whichever accounts that you're planning to grow, as soon as you make a post, I would just like, save, and comment on each of the 6 accounts that you've made. So just make 6 accounts that you don't ever use, and just comment. If I don't ever comment because it's a bit weird commenting on your own post, but just like and save and comment if you want on every one of your posts that come up, just because saves are so important. And for a new page, even 6 more saves makes it much more likely to be valued by the algorithm. So 6 accounts that you just use to engage with your own post basically in the beginning, that helps a lot. So yeah, and the main method to grow a brand new page is the same one I was talking about before. So you just find pages in similar niches. So how I do this is I pick a hashtag that's relevant to my content that I've used usually in the content. For example, I've got a page where I post about like psychology tips and how to rewire your brain to be more positive. And so I would just put, I don't know, hashtag psychology tips, hashtag neurolinguistic programming, hashtag confidence. I'll just type that hashtag in. But what I found is some accounts don't have this option. So make sure your account does before you pursue this method. So put your hashtag in, and then it'll have top hashtags or top posts with that hashtag, and then it will have more most recent. So you go to the most recent hashtags, and then you just kind of go through everybody that's posted, and it'll give you everyone that's posted in order from the latest to the oldest. So I'll find pages that usually have similar follow accounts to me, are in a similar niche, and when you look at their followers to following ratio, it's usually more following or as much following than they do followers, because they're the people that are most likely to follow you back. So you find those pages and you just give them a follow, give them a few likes on their posts, and just write them a genuine message in the comments. And then almost always they will respond, whether they'll like some of your posts back or they'll just say thank you. A lot of the time though, they will follow you back. And then because you've interacted with each other, if they do follow you, they are much more likely to see your posts, which means they're much more likely to engage in your posts and much more likely to then get your post on the Explore page, which will be where you get most of your followers. So one thing I found that helps if you're not someone, so you can dedicate your whole page to posting reels, but if you're somebody like me who that isn't their main mode of content, I'd find that posting one reel a week just helps to keep your followers, one, still seeing your reels, and to keep pieces of content out there in the algorithm, still gathering engagement and still getting engagement, which will boost your follower count and your likes on all your other posts in the long run. So that's the main thing about how to get followers and how to get them to see your posts. I'll summarize this all at the end if you've missed anything. But one thing that I found that's changed in very recent years too is how you word the captions of your posts and the post itself. So like before, whatever niches you're in, it might be a bit different, but I think generally, back in the day, a few years ago, posts that had more like wordy, more detailed captions and posts themselves would seem to do really well. So like people that would give like big detailed explanations of stuff in their content. I'm not saying that doesn't work now, but I feel like nowadays content has kind of moved towards more concise, more straight to the point, more basically catering towards people's lack of attention span. So like what I do now, instead of writing very detailed kind of wordy captions with like scientific backing and stuff, I just put more concise, easy to read, make sure they got a good color scheme, so you get the attention of your viewers quickly and they get the information as fast and as concise as possible. That's really important these days as people's attention spans have changed recently, and you have to kind of evolve your content with that. So some things not to do is don't spam people's DMs. Loads of people do that. And it's just like, why do you think someone who wants to, like, you've just started on Instagram, you're spamming people's DMs, asking them to follow you or asking them what they think? It's like, don't do that. Everyone's getting spammed these days. No one really wants to see that. And if you feel like a bot, people just won't reply, or they'll block you, or it just won't work. So like, if you're gonna DM people, comment on their post first, kind of build a relationship with them first, follow them, make sure you follow them first. And then maybe once you've built some kind of relationship, then DM them, ask them something genuine, give them some genuine feedback. People love that. And then they'll be a genuine, you can almost call them a fan, but they'll see your page and your posts all the time. And then they're much more likely to engage with it, which means your posts will much more likely to have more engagement, which means more people will see it in the long run. So yeah, another thing is make sure you do a story every day and with a poll or a slider. Those things are so important. At first, if you're new, you might get no story viewers, or you might even get one or two. But every two, say you get 5 viewers and 2 of them interact with your poll, that's 2 people that are going to see every story and every post that you've made in the future. So don't underestimate the value of stories and polls and those interactions. And yeah, do calls of action in the story, so you can basically tell, like, call of actions are just telling your followers to do something. So it's like, this can work in the stories, it can work in the post. So what I'll do is, depending on your niche, but this kind of does apply to most niches, I'd suggest that, like, if when you have a post, so you give the information about the post first, so you give them a detailed story, something to get into, and at the end of the post you say, do you want to achieve this, then follow my page. Or it's like you kind of lead the post into the call of action. So it's not like just being like, follow me, follow me, follow me. It's kind of giving them the backstory and then lead that into the call of action, which could be follow the post, like the post, I don't know, send me a DM with the word, whatever. You've all seen those things. So it's like do the content that leads into the call of action at the end. And so that's most of my technique to build Instagram pages in 2023. But the main thing, I'll summarize all the points in a second, but the main thing to take away from all of this is it's all about building momentum. So it's like when you start on Instagram, no one's going to see your posts. Even though you can have the best quality content in the world, which is super important, but no one's going to see it. So it's about making sure your content is good, more importantly, building a specific community around your page. So the best way to do it from the start is pick a hashtag that you're going to use on your posts, go into that hashtag, go to most recent, and then just find pages with similar follower accounts, similar niches, and just comment, like, and follow their posts. And then some of them will follow you back, some of them won't. That's no problem. But the more people that do, the more people that will see your page, see your future posts, and then the more likely you are to be on the algorithm, which means more people will see it. So it's a mix between good content and building a solid community around your page specifically. And then just make sure you're using reels, you're posting every day. And if you just follow those steps, make sure you're interacting with people every day, posting every day, posting stories every day, you'll pretty much be guaranteed to get at least some kind of following. So I'm averaging now about, on my lowest page, about 200 followers a month. My pages that I've done for a bit longer, I'm getting probably about 10 to 15 followers a day at the moment. My max has been a lot higher than that. It just depends. But if you can keep consistent growth, sometimes you'll perform better in the algorithm. Sometimes you'll perform worse. But it's just about being consistent. That's the key, and building momentum behind your page. So this video has gone on a bit longer than I expected, but if you made it till the end, thank you very much. And I'll kind of give you the step-by-step summary of what anyone should do when they first made their page to get some momentum behind it and grow it. So first step, make your page. Make sure it's a cool name that's catchy. Make sure you have a good profile picture. Make sure your content has a good color scheme. It's easy to read. That's very important. And pleasing to the eye. That's the first step. Second step is choose a hashtag within your niche. Find the most recent pages in that hashtag. Follow, like, and comment on some of the people that you like specifically, or people that have similar follower numbers as you. They'll follow you back, a lot of them will like your post back. That's the start of your community that you've built. Keep doing that every day in the beginning. Eventually you won't have to do that. Your posts will generate engagement itself, but that's the key in the beginning. Do daily stories, daily polls. Don't forget to recycle some of the stories, because obviously you'll be getting new followers. So don't worry if you do one story one day, you can't do it a few weeks later, you can. So engage with people every day in your niche, stories every day, posts every day, reels at least once a week. And if you do those things, you're guaranteed to grow your page. Another thing is change your hashtags after every post. Just one or two of the hashtags. Try and use the maximum hashtags Instagram have on offer. But make sure you're changing them every day as well, every time you post. Remember that saves are the most valuable part of the engagement. They're the ones that are more likely to get you on the Explore page. So in your call to actions, make sure people are liking and commenting, but encourage people to save as well. Save your posts too. And lastly, have 6 pages, which is the max you can have per phone. You could have more, I guess, that you just use to save and like all of your posts that you do, which will help a lot in the long run. So that's pretty much it. If there's anything that I've missed, let me know. If you're still watching the video now, thank you very much, and hope it goes well. If you need anything, send me a message and I'll be happy to help. See you later.